guys, this is Lee from Unicorn Night, and today we're going to be playing part 2 of Romance Detective 2. And in this part, we're going to try to convince the convict who ran away from jail to go back to jail just to stay for one day and to figure out who is the vandalist in the school. So let's get started. Hello. Yes, he's in the back room. I don't know if you've realized you're here yet, so if you could quietly, and this is the guy who told us, like, he gave us like the tip where he's actually living, so he just jumped out the window. Too late. Alright, detective, how fast can you run? No, wait, that might not be necessary. I am sure he'll come back if we just wait here for him. What, really? He's just panicked right now. That's all. He's prone to overreacting when he feels backed into a corner. He'll make impulsive decisions like breaking through my sliding glass window just now. I must ask, what is your relationship with this man? Well, this is embarrassing. He's actually my boyfriend. I know him better than anyone. But then, why did you turn him in? Because, as he explained it to me at least, he agreed to do his time, and I knew the police were looking for him, so, he was set on leaving the country and starting a new life. Really? Just for poking someone in the eye? I don't know why he broke out, but I think it would be best for him to face the consequences, so please, go easy on him. It sounds this whole thing's just gotten really out of hand. I mean, the chief said that she wasn't going to arrest him in the first place, so why all this? I sense another force at work here. I'm really sorry for all the trouble. I don't know what's going into him. It's not your fault, sir. We'll get this straightened out in due time. Yes, please at least let me cook you a nice meal while we wait for Sage to come back. Oh, how kind of you. Now you mention it, I'm really hungry. What about you, detective? Yes, it sounds lovely. However, we cannot expect him to return while police cars parked so conspicuously outside. Right, I'll take care of that. This lasagna is incredible. You're a really good cook. Indeed, quite exquisite. Thank you again. Oh, it's no trouble at all. I love to feed people, and I'm glad you like it. You know, lasagna is my favorite dish. It's the first thing I cooked for Sage after we started dating. It's such a cute story. I was minding my own business, eating an ice cream cone, when he happened to bump into me on accident. So I dropped it right on the sidewalk. He apologized over and over, insisting that I let him buy me a new one. But I already eaten half of it, so I wasn't upset to begin with. Even then, he was still so persistent. That sounds like the story we heard about how he convinced the chief to keep him in jail for the night, doesn't it, detective? It seems this man has a habit of causing minor incidents and over-apologizing. I know, right? He hasn't changed a bit. Anyway, I finally gave in and let him buy me a new ice cream on the condition that he let me take him out for dinner. Pretty bold, I know, but I was smitten instantly. I just had to ask. So, we went to this nice Italian restaurant the next evening, and we had a wonderful time, even though he spilled his drink and went on half an hour to apologize to the waiter. Which brings me to our third date, where we went to see some superhero movie. I can't remember which one, but Sage just loves those kind of things. So the time that we were stepped on a butterfly and cried for so long, it took him a week to get over, but he still gets a sad look on his face whenever he sees a butterfly, which is just... And after living with him over a year now, I've become quite the expert at handling his over-apologetic outbursts. That reminds me, have I told you about... Excuse me, Harissa. Sorry to interrupt. I really have been enjoying your stories, but it's starting to get late. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Once I get started, I just go on and on about that man. How rude of me. I'm ashamed as a host. You don't be. Please, tell me, how did you meet? Well, It wouldn't hurt to wait a while longer. Detective, you can probably tell the story better than me, so go right ahead. A vile, a vile false love born from roses was corrupting the hearts of citizens, so we liberate the city together. Today is our 1 month anniversary. Oh, how nice! Congratulations. That was succinct, especially after everything we just heard. Knock knock. Ah, the door. He came back after all. Why do you look so surprised? Or you made it seem like it was a sure thing. Let's corner him. Ahem. Who is it? Narissa, I'm so sorry. You must hate me, but I didn't have anywhere else to go, so It's okay. I can never hate you. Just come inside. Oh, yes. Okay, of course. We have you now, criminal. Ah! Shush, it's okay. They just want me to help you. Traitor, they're going to send me to a faraway prison on an island where I'll never see you again. Is that what you want? No, they're not going to do anything like that. Ladies, could you please explain to him that you aren't here to... I won't listen. I don't want to get taken away. I'm sorry. Maybe we could wait for him to calm down. There, no one's taking you away. You see, we were just making sure you weren't going to run off again. I don't want you bustling through any more glass doors and hurting yourself. I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry. Moving along, would you mind answering a few questions for us, Sage? Not at all. I'll tell you anything you want to hear. As long as you're going to answer honestly, please. Let's see. Why did he break out? What we really want to know is why did you break out of the jail to begin with? Didn't you go involuntarily? Yeah, I felt so bad after what happened to Heather. I just couldn't let her let me off the hook. So I asked her to keep me in jail for the night. But then you had a change of heart and escaped. Why? It's hard to explain. Take as much time as you need. I was looking out the tiny window of my cell when I suddenly felt this instant urge to, leave. That's it? You just had a random impulse to break out? Well, it's kind of embarrassing. I wanted to leave because I thought that I just had to see Narissa right at that moment. Honey, I couldn't think of anything else. It was like I was in a trance or something. It might sound crazy, but it's the honest truth. There's no need to worry. We believe you. Normally I'd think he's lying, but considering the last month's events, it must be somehow connected to that case. What shall I ask him about? After he escaped. Could you explain what happened after you broke out? Well, after picking the lock on the cell, I ran straight to here. But almost after I came inside, the reality of what I'd done just kind of sunk in. It took hours to console you, and even then you just wouldn't be convinced to go back there and explain what happened. Back up a bit. I can't believe you just picked the lock and walked right out. Shouldn't the jail have at least have more security? Well, no one was really keeping watch, and picking locks is what I do for a living, so it's actually really easy. A locksmith. Huh, that explains it. How fortunate that Love's Bloom's jail is usually empty. Imagine the consequences if a real criminal escaped. You're right. I hadn't even thought about that. Oh no, I've done an awful thing. No! Like she said, no big bad criminals escaped, so you've got nothing to worry about. I'm so sorry for all the trouble. Let me make it up to you. Take me back to jail. I'll promise to stay there for the full night. Then it's so then. You better hold true to your word this time. Well, wait, don't take him away. It's just for one night, Narisco. I owe them that much at least. Detective, do we really have to arrest him? I mean, it sounds to me like this wasn't his fault, you know? From the way he explained it, that case does come to mind. Very well. I won't be taking you anywhere, Sage, as long as you stay out of trouble from now on. No, I insist. Please take me in. Why do you want to go to jail so badly? Stay here with me. I'd love to, but I need to repay my debt to society first. Cuff me, officer. He's a model citizen. Sir, I'm sorry, but you're being totally ridiculous. You didn't really do anything wrong in the first place, so are you sure there isn't anything I can do to make up for all the trouble I've caused? Here, I'll pay you. Let me just grab my wallet. I totally understand why the chief ended up having to arrest this guy. He's really forceful, isn't he? Now's your chance to escape, if you hurry. Oh, you're right. Thank you so much for the dinner and having a good night, Naruto. No, thank you too so much for your patience and understanding. Goodbye. What an odd couple. Yeah, well, at least that business is all settled, and it's gotten pretty late, huh? Do you think it's about time we head to the school for our little stakeout? Your sense of duty is strong as ever, Romance Cop. Let us be off then. Detective? What is it, Romance Cop? You're not really planning on using that, are you? I wouldn't allow such a rare opportunity to pass me by. She's using a bug net. I understand how you feel, but I'm not gonna let you capture a middle schooler with that completely oversized net. You're right, it would be far too silly. That's not exactly the issue, but just please put that thing away. If forfeiting this net is what it takes to convince you how serious I am about this case, so be it. You have nothing to fret over, Romance Cop. Well, I mean, you're taking it pretty seriously and everything. I was just worried about the culprit. Do you believe they may be dangerous? No. I'm sure we can handle a 12-year-old. Agreed. All that's left for us now is to wait for her arrival. Yep, I'm kind of excited. This is my first stakeout, as mine as well. I'm delighted that we get to share another first or something. The detective looks so at ease, even after saying something so embarrassingly mushy. Well, I'm a little used to it. But speaking of first, nothing's really happened since that first kiss. Not that we haven't gotten enough time to spend together, just, isn't it about time for more developments on that front? I want to be close to her. Is something on your mind? Oh, not really. I was just thinking, we got to spend the whole day together, and now the whole night, too. It'll be fun. Being alone like this is kind of romantic, right? Yes, well, please keep in mind we have a job to do. Oh yes, of course. Sorry, I didn't mean. Maybe I'm just being too forward. I want to at least hold hands with her or something. What should I do? Jeez, I sound like a teenager. I'll just talk to her about it later. Communication is important when it comes to this sort of thing. Let's keep an eye out for any suspects. Yeah, on that note, it's kind of hard to see with their sunglasses on, as dark as it is. Come to think of it, I've never seen you with them off. Over there, the culprit. Oh, you're right. Go around and go around the other side. Just wait for my signal. This time, I'll send her into rage mode for sure. Freeze! The fuzz! Your colorful crime spree is over. It ends here. Let me go! Let me go! What's your name, child? I'm not a child, and I like to tell you anything. Shit for brain. Jeez, what's your language, young lady? You're enough trouble as it is. Now please tell us what you're doing this. I mean, why you're doing this. I ain't talking unless your crummy partner gets her hands off of me. Do you promise not to run? Yeah, whatever. I don't know. Should I let her go or don't I trust her? Well, she did have mean language and she did insult my intelligence. I don't trust her. She's gonna run off the first chance she gets. Don't listen to her, detective. Come on, don't you want me to explain myself? What are you gonna do, detective? Normally, I would hold you to your word, but this is Romance Cop's decision. Sees you're struggling. Help! Help! I need an adult. These strange grown-ups won't let go of me. We're not strange. We just want to know why you keep spray painting all over other people's stuff. Please stop this! Astra? What are you doing here? I came to see how this story would end, but as I expected more from you two. You two are nothing but bullies. We are not. Why would you? Ivy, wait! This has really gone out of hand. We should have trusted her. Why? It would have turned out the same either way. Come on, detective. Let's go follow them. So you knew, huh? I was a little late leaving school yesterday, and I noticed your bike was still here. I had a fair hunch. Oh, so that's how it was. I saw you talking to the two chicks during school. Why didn't you rat me out? As for one, I wanted to see what you'd paint next. For real? I like your artwork quite a bit. It's very bold. It suits you. You like it? I do. But that doesn't excuse what you did. Please tell me what possessed you to sabotage a project my peers and I had been working very hard on. I don't know. Was it really because you were looking to get a rise out of me? Because there are far less destructive ways to go about that. I told you I don't know, I just feel like it. Before I knew what was going on, I was already messed up. Was that poem part of the joke too? Did you write it to embarrass me? What do you care? Just answer the question, were you serious or not? Yeah, I kinda, like you, I guess. Oh, that's really sweet. Then why were you trying to make me angry? Because I've only seen you with that blank look on your face. It made me want to break it. What? I felt that for a long time, okay? I mean, I didn't want to actually make you feel bad. It was always just thoughts in the back of my mind. But then, last night, I ended up back at school and just snapped, I guess. This is gonna sound stupid, but a voice in my head told me to just go nuts. So I lost control, and even after that, it was still like you felt nothing. And tonight, I heard the voice again, and well, here we are. I'm sorry, I know this is pretty crazy and stupid and doesn't make sense, but it's the honest truth. If you don't believe me, I won't blame you. Huh? That's the most ridiculous story I've ever. You're laughing? I'm sorry. You wanted to break my face? What kind of motivation is that? Shut up, don't make fun of me. No, you're... That's really cute. It's so unexpected. What? Is the most hilarious part is it actually worked. Oh, I guess it did. Looks like everything turned out alright. Her story, she mentioned with a voice in her head, that lines up with something we've heard before. Or it could be just her hormones. It sounds like she had a little pent-up feeling she was dealing with. Huh, you must interrogate her to be certain. Excuse me, if you could spare me a minute. Ivy, we have a few questions we'd like to ask you. Whoa, back off. It's okay, Ivy. They're just trying to do their jobs. That's right, you're not in trouble or anything. At least not with us. As long as you're done picking on her, it's fine. That was never the intention. I don't know how I feel about you talking to the law, but go ahead, ask me whatever, I guess. Alright. When you first heard the voice yesterday, time to interrogate another 13-year-old. Where did you hear it? Do you remember the voice where you heard it? Nowhere in particular, outside somewhere, not too far from the school. I'm sure what time it was. I'm not too sure about what time it was, but it was pretty dark out. So what are you doing out that late? You shouldn't be wandering the streets at night. It's too dangerous. Dangerous? What's gonna happen? Please forgive my partner. She seems to have come from a rough neighborhood. No, that's nothing to do with... It's just common sense. For one thing, you're wearing all black. What if you got hit by a car? Duh, that's why my jacket's got glow-in-the-dark patches. This line of questioning has gone a bit off track. That voice you heard in your head, could you tell us more about it? Yeah, I was just minding my own business, kinda thinking about Aster, then something was telling me to go mess up our project. In other words, your feelings manifested into an irresistible impulse to try and upset me. No way, this was different, and it was all about upsetting you. Then how come it told me to go write that poem too? Because emotions are complicated, obviously. So it drove you to express that as well. I assume it wasn't your own voice you heard. Nah, it sounded like the kind of voice that comes from a gorgeous lady. That was my impression anyway. I see, you're not hearing it right now, are you? Not since you two showed up and grabbed me. My apologies. Nah, I get it. No hard feelings. I'm sorry this sounds a bit weird thing to ask, but have you noticed any strange abundance of roses? There haven't been any roses in the city since that one time. Hey, is that why you two look familiar? You're that cop and detective duo that got rid of them. Indeed we are. What happened here may as well be related to that case. I saw what looked like roses in your graffiti, so I thought you might be carrying one around, and that's what caused this. Why would I carry a rose around? Do I look like some kind of flower maniac? Anyway, I wasn't really thinking at the time. I just spray painted whatever I felt like. Maybe it was just a coincidence then? What do you think, detective? I am uncertain. We need to keep an eye out for more cases like this one if we can identify the pattern so we can figure out the cause. Well, that's that then. Thank you for your cooperation, Ivy. No probs. Hey, is this what cops do all the time? Go around catching people and asking them stuff? It's not always that exciting, but if you promise to stay out of trouble from now on, I'll tell you more about it. I'm kind of interested, but I ain't making promises, lady. Ivy, I believe it would be best if you turned yourself in tomorrow. Yeah, I got what I wanted out of this, so I guess only fair to take responsibility or whatever. I'll explain it to them as a cry for attention, and I only wanted to work on the project with us. Why has it gotta be like that? Because it sounds far more innocent than a voice in my head told me to do it in order to break Aster's face. Shut up. Fine, tell them whatever you want. This way you can probably help us rebuild it too. It's the best possible outcome. Now if you're gonna tease me about it the whole time, then the matter is settled then. Let's depart. Come on, you two. I'll drive you home. Sweet. We gotta ride in the cop car. My friend's gonna be way jealous. My net. I seem to left it behind. Follow me, romance cop. I'm going too? Okay. You kids just wait here. We'll only be a minute. Did she say nets? Yeah. She initially intended to capture you in it. What? Are you serious? It would have been quite a scene to behold. Here we are. It's fortunate that I did not lose this. Nessa, this size are harder to find than you think. Is there any reason you needed me to come with you for this? It would have been lonely otherwise. Detective, you're such a little kid sometimes. One more thing. Now that our work is done for the day, I'd like to say something. I felt that we were a little out of sync at times. You must remember to have faith in people. We cannot protect those we look down or mistrust. Do you understand? Yeah, that makes sense. I do not mean to lecture you, but to me, this idea is of great importance to keep in mind. Let's work harder in the coming days. Got it. I'll do better from now on. Anyway, we mustn't keep the children waiting. Let's return to them at once. Could you hold on a second? Is something wrong? No, nothing like that. Just, detective, you're really beautiful tonight. Did you know that? Romance cop, what is going into you? Huh? Sorry, I was just saying something weird. My head's a little foggy. Are you hearing any voices? Just yours. I'm sure I'm just tired. Sorry. It could be something